Good evening and welcome back to another Talking Technical show. Tonight we've got some good news to share with you. I'm sure you've seen that Christelle missed out on the show for a couple of weeks, and the main reason is that she gave birth to a beautiful young lady this morning, and we're proud of her, and that's why Christelle will be on maternity leave, and we'll probably see her in January or maybe first week of February. So if you see my face, always remember that Christelle is the better of the two of us. She's sitting at home and enjoying the tiny little baby that arrived. Well, let's have a look. And the first request is Kenilwe, and she asked about Etion. And this share, she said she bought it, she liked the chart, and then suddenly she knows that she's going to receive a dividend of about 30 cents. But she said what happened is suddenly the share fell away. Now, Kenilwe, that's not something new. What happens is when you've got the share and it looks okay, and then suddenly the dividend gets announced, or sometimes on the payment, usually at the day of the payment, you will see that this gap opens, and that is because they pay out the dividend. Now, you usually find either an emotional gap or a fundamental gap, and in this case, this is a fundamental gap because the company actually paid out the dividend. Unless there's something else that I don't know about, but I think this is the dividend payout. That will be a fundamental gap. Yes, it usually takes a little bit longer to close. It's more difficult to close, like in a case of Rembrandt Beheerend or Remgrow many years ago when they unbundled British American Tobacco. It took a long time for that share to close that gap. But in this case, when it gets above 37 cents, you can easily see that the share wants to close this gap. And I will say, if you want to buy it, some people like to get the dividend, and then they like the company and they say, listen, but we are going to go back and buying it again. So buy it above 37 cents again, make use of a stop loss of 28 cents, and hopefully in time to come, you can close this gap, and this gap will be closed at 61 cents. Remember, the rule of the gap is it's either going to close today or tomorrow or sometimes in future. Johan asked about Brait. I'm keeping an eye on this share for quite a while, and it looks like there's maybe something in the making here. Now, if we look at Brait here, we had a beautiful rally. Look at it. From about the middle of August, it went all the way from 283 straight up to about 460, and now it's just above the 4 Rand level. For me, it's quite simple. What you usually find is when you see this beautiful rally and you see a pullback, I always say that we're sitting on probably a flag formation. Now, let's just have a look here. Let's just first do resistance line. There's the resistance line. And let's do the support line. There you are. And you can see it almost looks like a lamp pole. There's the lamp pole, and there's the flag flying. So what you can see here is that Brait must get above this resistance line, and that resistance line, resistance sits at 435. So Johan, the share needs to get above 435 to continue with the upward momentum. That's the rule of a flag formation. It usually, when it develops after a beautiful rally, and it gives you this consolidation, it needs to turn this resistance line, that line, it needs to turn it into a support, give it another move to the top. Unfortunately, if it breaks below 398, in this case, it can easily go down to 360. It does not say that the momentum is finished if it breaks it. Sometimes it goes down and then retrieves some momentum and then carry on again. The big thing for me, I think the share needs to show us now that it wants to break this resistance line, turn it into a support. And if you do want to buy it, if you want to accumulate, and if you do buy above 435, make use of a stop loss of 4 Rand and 1 cent to protect capital, and hopefully Brait can maybe turn into a share that you can look up for the future. Let's just have a look at the long-term chart. And I actually want to show you that there is something on the go here, and I like this chart, and the reason why I like it, the moment I show you, you will see what I'm seeing. And Johan, remember, this is now more of long-term view. That's a weekly chart. If you look at the weekly chart, look at it. It took a long time to sort of recover. There you are. You can still see it. I mean, remember, this is a share that's been hammered to pieces. And it's a strong foundation here, consolidation here that's showing. And what do we see? If we look at this, and I remember that was a daily chart. If we look at this line, it tells you there's some strong overhang resistance around 4.15. And above this beautiful consolidation can break to the upside and give us a beautiful rally to the top, and maybe a fantastic recovery in the share. Well, let's have a look at Anheuser Busch. Let's have a look here. First of all, Anheuser Busch is a request from Richard. Richard, what happened the other day was we saw this beautiful gap here. For me, it was quite interesting when I saw that. I thought, but something must be on the boil here. Why will the share just go up by, I think it was 10% or so, but it went up rapidly during the day, and for the last couple of days, it looks like it's a little bit slow to carry on with the momentum. But what caught my eye was the following, and the moment I'm showing you that, you will also say, but Frans, something is on the go here. Let's just show you here. And I'm going to put in the formula of volume. The indicator, there you are. Let's just put it in. And can you see, the day that it made this gap, we had a spike in volume. And I thought, this volume want to tell us something. And that's why I'm a little bit optimistic here. And I will say, while this gap is open, something is on the boil, because we don't know if it is a emotional gap or a fundamental gap at this stage. But at this point in time, more emotion, because the share went up in a straight line and it pulls back. So you've got one of two options. If you are a medium to a long-term investor, I would say wait for this gap to close. And this gap will close at 869.99. Then buy there and make use of a stop loss of 829 Rand as a stop loss. But on the other hand, if you want to chase momentum, unfortunately, you need to say, I'm going to chase the momentum above this candle, and that will be above 973.60. Then you've got a stop loss of 901.75. That's a massive stop loss. So for me, I like this chart. I wonder if there's not something on the boil here, and maybe, but just maybe, the market will tell us in time to come why this gap opened, why the volume spike. That's usually positive if it remains above that window or that gap. So let's see what the market is going to tell us in time to come. But maybe you've got something on the go here. Maybe you know something that we don't know. Well, let's have a look at ABSA Group. And the lady that asked about it was Sina. Sina wanted to know, what do we think about ABSA? I think she was also thinking about Nedbank, but unfortunately we need to do some other requests as well. Now let's have a look at ABSA Group. I mean, the share hang around here. I just want to close that. There you are. The share was in a descending channel all the way. There you are. I can actually show you. There you are. There you can see. Just want to show you. Here's the channel. And then suddenly it's on the brink of breaking to the top. Now, for me personally, I would like to focus on that, but I want to show you something else. See now, look here. There was the low the other day of 137.46. And yesterday, it actually went as low as 138.25. That's Friday's candle, Friday the 29th. Now, if it breaks above this, this will be the first sign that this double bottom, this is a double bottom, and maybe prove us and tell us there's some more momentum to the upside on the boil. So let's have a look here. If it can break above 144.77, I think that will be my first indication it can go up. And why I like this, look at this beautiful dragonfly doji close to that support. And that usually tells me that dragonfly doji, that some informed investor said, listen, we like the company, we would like to buy it, let's buy it as close as possible as the previous low. For me, while it is above 138.25, I like the momentum to the top. But where will it trigger a buying signal? Only above 144.77. So I will buy it above 144.77 on a trader's basis. I will make use of a stop loss of 138.25. And this double bottom scenario, where does it come into effect? Where does this actually trigger a proper long-term or a medium-term signal? It will be above this line. And there you are. If it breaks above 160 Rand, you can say to yourself that this double bottom is in play. And where can it go to? It can go all the way, and let's just do the projection here. It can go from the, I just want to get it here, from the low, and I'm just going to do the projection to the top here. And it can take this company all the way back to 180. But of course, first of all, needs to break above that resistance line that I had there just now. And then above that line, and that will be 160. Double bottom will come into play, and it can maybe take you to 180. But if you are a trader and you want to nibble now, make use of this stop loss. And I like this strong candle. Maybe there's some money flowing back into ABSA group. So there you are. Good share, and it looks like a nice chart to follow. And visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com for more technical info, and we will chat again.